hear me, and I'm really delighted to be part of these very talented panelists. If I may say, yes, there's quite a number of differences. But one thing still remains the same, that there was a lack of clear leadership from the police force. We saw quite a number of failures. We saw quite a number of misplaced opportunities. We saw very many wrong approaches, and all that constituted to a very, very shameful and operation from the police perspective, and that was somewhat of a letdown. What am I saying with this? Number one, we have seen a systematic failure of our police force to monitor one critical area that Gen Zs are quite a strong force. There has been quite a big miss to monitor Gen Z's form of engagement, I mean the e-platform. This time around, there was clear message from Gen Zs that they were going to occupy State House. But if you look at the priorities that policemen praised, they were taking razor wires to Parliament and areas of that sort. That was not something that was given that much of a priority. So basically, we're telling ourselves here that risk agency assessment is missing in our police leadership, and that one is leading to a lot of inaccurate decision making that actually leads to a lot of misallocation of the resources that we have to engage our Gen Zs in a way that can be impactful and a way that can, of course, discourage a repetition of this. We are also seeing that this particular incident was a repetition of what happened in 2024. But the numbers are different, the formulation is different, we had much more bigger numbers here. But we are telling ourselves from analysis of this situation that we have just created another commemoration date in our Kenyan calendar. We have Sabasaba and many other celebrations in the national public. But now here we're having 25/6, and that's going to be quite repetitive. If policemen are deploying old school tactics to handle modern threats in the life of maintaining our national security, then we are telling ourselves that we're going to miss the point. And further, when the CS announced use of lethal weapon, that was still another escalation of miscalculation and missing the right point on how to handle this kind of a matter. Right. The president tried to engage Gen Zs on the X platform. That was a very good idea. But we went back the traditional way of Kenyan handling things. A lack of complete implementation that makes anything impactful. Church was invited to State House. We saw that when they came out of there, there was a lack of proper briefing to the public to give this is what we discussed, and these are the timelines. So what I'm saying here, Victor, and the rest of the team and the fellow Kenyans across the divide who are listening to us, that we continue to see a mishandling of a situation that if we were to sit down and look at the nitty-gritties and go back to operational planning, resource allocation, decision-making, we will do much, much better in, for example, preventing the loss of lives and being impactful in preventing the extent to which we saw this Maandamano take this republic to. Further, the whole globe was watching us. We saw very strong statements from these Gen Zs before they even went there. Some read the obituaries. Some wrote stuff basically telling us that their level of commitment to this cause was not something that we needed to take into assumption. We need to deploy much better ways, put a lot of effort in the e-platform, study what they were committing themselves to do, and come up with interventions that would be conclusive in terms of lowering the pursuit that they were pushing on in terms of what they wanted to achieve. And to say that if there was any achievement from all the devices here and there, they achieved. They created mistrust in government function. They created fear amongst government operatives. Right. And lastly, they've put our leadership on an alert position. And we can see the kind of directives being given. Sometimes back, Professor Kindiki told us, if a police were to engage in lethal action, he would take personal responsibility. Here, the CS comes and says, we are going to disregard the investigation from IPOA, and we are going to stand by a police person who takes lethal action in his hands to defend himself or defend a property or a person. So where are we as at now with all this conflicting information? We're therefore saying that these Maandamanos have created fear and a lot of misconfigurations, a lot of miscalculations amongst the leadership. And that is impactful with a lot of spiral effects. Thank you.
All right, Chris. Thank you for that. Thank you, Chris.